close about 5 p.m. They let us camp here free.
Hey guys, a little different scenery than what you last saw me this morning. So what happened? So yesterday you could see I was very down. I'm down mostly because my ankle is not good, and I've hiked pretty far on it. And so I rested for 3 days, as you saw in a previous video, in Skykomish, and it really didn't get any better. It was like the same, felt a little better, I guess, but I wanted to give it a try. And so the plan was to go that, as I've said before, about 71 miles to Snoqualmie. And I purposely went out midday yesterday, did 12 really hard miles. It was just solid mud, and as you probably saw in the video, it's hard to even video. It was just drizzling to heavy rain all day. So I get to camp at 6 something. It's been pouring, and I'm beyond drenched. You know, as they say, rain gear only keeps you dry for so long. I was drenched all the way through. I had to set up my tent in these trees. I don't even think I got the video. It was just pouring so hard, and then all the water from the trees, so it was like double rain. You know, it was like the rain plus all the wind. We're right on a peak, so the wind was knocking all the water off the trees too, so it was like double the amount of rain. I set up the tent. I was soaked. Literally everything in my tent was soaked except for my air mattress was a little bit above the soaked bottom of the tent. My quilt was dry to start with anyway, and my sleep clothes, and that's it. And as the night went on, I got wetter and wetter and wetter, you know, and the quilts are just like a sleeping bag, just become like a sponge. But one of the things that I'm not scared of much out here, and this didn't scare me, but it grossed me out. I had something run across my head when I was all bundled up. I fell asleep about midnight. I had something run across my head, but I didn't know it was running across my head. It just felt like wind. And so I put my beanie on because it was kind of cold, and I felt it kept going across it. And then later I realized it was a mouse, and my tent's completely zipped up, which means the thing that all hikers dread, and that is that I ended up finding a hole where he chewed through the tent, my $500 Tiger UL2 tent, and I had this, not thinking about it, I left a sealed bag of small peanuts there, and just fell asleep that way. But I haven't had one single issue with them, and I should have known better. So it's definitely my bad, but he had chewed through the bag, and so when I shoot him, I could tell he didn't go out of the tent. So I turn on my in the middle of the night, you know, and it's freezing cold and soaked. I chased him around for a while, and then I got him to go out of the hole that he created, and then I blocked the hole with some stuff, which I don't know was a good idea, because I was thinking, well, maybe he'll chew another hole in, but he never came back. But I never fell asleep. I was up the whole night and it froze, and so I got up, and to this day, I've never had my fingers colder than this. I got up and just literally packed my whole thing away, and I had to put on freezing, dripping wet shorts and t-shirt, freezing rain pants, freezing rain jacket, freezing socks. My shoes were like they were underwater, so everything was freezing cold from the night. And I had to put it all on, and I just needed to get off the ridge. And I decided before it even got light that I was gonna hike back the 12 miles, which I'm bummed because it was a really hard 12 miles and really sketchy and dangerous, and it had rained all night, so it made it even more muddy. And I did fall a couple times, and tweaked my ankle bad twice, and I fell twice. Once I just fell right on my butt in the mud, but I was wearing rain pants, so it didn't get me muddy. But I hiked the 12 miles back, got here about 1 something, so it was like 6 hours there yesterday and 6 hours back. And of course, as I'm walking back, and the weather's supposed to get really good, but it got sunny right when I got here. But it's actually been sprinkling here, so it's still nasty out there. It's amazing because it's July 18th, day 71, by the way, and it's still freezing cold, and it's gonna get nice. But it might be the coldest night I've ever spent in my whole life, because I was wet. Was last night on July 17th in Washington. So they let PCT hikers sleep on the patio here. It's covered, and let me show you a clip of my view from where I'm sitting right here. So let me show it to you right here. So yeah, I got the drought, all my stuff. I got coffee and hot dog earlier, and I have food. I have tons of food because I was gonna go 5 days, and I charged up my battery. So I'm just gonna edit. I'm gonna watch some Netflix. I have service right here, And the plan is tomorrow, somebody who's become a good friend, even though we don't live close, Heather, is going to come get me. She's actually going to drive about 3 hours to pick me up, and then another 2 or 3 hours to Seattle to drop me off to my previous Trail Angels, Dave and Christy, and they're going to let me stay there for a few days and rest and figure out what I want to do. I have to make a decision. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know if this is going to take a month to heal, 3 days. I don't think 3 days, but I don't have any clue, and I can't wait forever. So there's a good chance that I may get on trail, and there's a good chance I may go home. So I don't want to go home, but some of the luster of the hike has gone off, to be, if I'm honest, because of injuries. It's a very physically, mentally, and emotionally daunting task when you're healthy. And I'm also 56, so it's just harder on me. I watch some of these kids, and and there's kids that are hurt too, though, right now too. But they don't seem to struggle with these big, giant, wet, sloppy mountains, and it's hard for me. It's really hard. I mean, I was bummed because the day before I got hurt, I just got my trail legs back, and I just was powering up mountains, and it was like the greatest feeling. So I don't know what to think. I mean, I could always stop and then try to do the remaining amount next year, or the next, or whatever. What was cool about doing the 12 miles yesterday is, and I was really dejected if you noticed in the video, but I did hit 900 miles, so that's kind of cool for the year. So anyway, that's all I got for you now. I'm just gonna chill here. In the morning they open up pretty early. There's some kind of bow hunting event here, and so they're gonna open up early, so I want to get some coffee, and then plan is Heather's gonna be here somewhere between 9 and 10, and then we're gonna head to Seattle, and we'll go from there. So I'll try to film some of it tomorrow, and I just wanted to give you an update. I didn't film any hiking today. It was pouring rain for the most part. Again, I was frozen, and it was the exact same thing I showed you yesterday in the video. So it's just the same ponds as I went by, and same lakes and same stuff. So, and there was no visibility today, so there was not much to show you. And of course, it was poor visibility until I got half a mile. The cool thing was, as I come down, and you go into the ski lift, so it was coming down, it was 2 miles down the ski runs, I saw a doe and two baby, not baby, like kind of teenage size, her kids. So it was pretty cool to see them just walking through the meadow, like that. And it's the first time I've seen a deer, except for at Stehekin by the laundry room. I don't know how they got there, but yeah, so I got to see a mom and two of its babies, so that was kind of cool. So besides that, people have been nice here, and it's a great place. The ski resort has all kinds of they had a mountain biking event here last weekend when I rolled in, so there's a lot of fun events in the summer, but they need to have summer show up at some point. So that's it for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and appreciate all your kind words and watching everything, and we'll see you tomorrow.
There's my little home for the night. Starting to sprinkle, so I'm glad I'm under here.